Hi guys! Thank you for clicking on this video. I'm coming to you all cozy for this one. So this is going to be a video all about PCOS. Whenever I put up anything on Instagram about PCOS, I do get a lot of questions. So I thought I would do a video answering all your questions in one place. Disclaimer before we get into the questions, I am by no means a medical professional. All the information that I'll be sharing in this video is from personal experience and from research that I have done myself, which is research that I highly recommend that you also do, because even till this day, I'm always researching and trying to find out better ways to manage my PCOS. And doing my own research is the only thing that has helped me get to the point that I am now with managing my PCOS, because in relation to this, the doctors have been pretty much useless. So yeah, definitely do your research. Okay, so let's jump straight into the questions. I'm not sure if I have PCOS, as my doctor won't listen to me listing my symptoms, such as excessive hair growth and having irregular periods with heavy blood flow. Ugh. Doctors and PCOS, from my personal experience and people around me's experience, is just shit, to be honest. Like, it's like they don't know much about it, or it feels like they don't really care. I don't know, but when I got diagnosed, I felt like they were like, right, you have this thing that's wrong with you, you have PCOS, here's a leaflet with information that is so vague that nobody would really understand what's going on with their body. Off you go. That's kind of how I felt. And literally everything that I know about PCOS has come from me seeking that myself rather than the doctors telling me. So yeah, it's super frustrating, and I can completely relate to you and to anybody else who is struggling to get any advice or diagnosis from their doctor. What I do recommend though, so that you can get the diagnosis, is keep persistent at your doctors. You need to be going back, you need to be applying pressure, saying that you want to get blood tests, saying that you want to get an ultrasound scan, because really those are the only things that are gonna give you an actual diagnosis. Just speaking through symptoms isn't going to get you a diagnosis, because some people have regular periods when they have PCOS, some people have no periods, some people have excessive hair growth, some people don't. So like the symptoms aren't consistent. Like you can't say you've got those two symptoms, you have PCOS. Like you have to actually get it tested. So go back to your doctors, keep going, go every week if you have to until they give you a doctor's appointment. And then once you do have a diagnosis, then you can go on to learn about how you can manage your symptoms. And then if you find out that you don't have PCOS, then they're going to have to do further investigations to find out what it actually is that is causing your problems. Oh, I could literally do a whole video on... In fact, I might do that. I'm going to do a video on my diagnosis, how I felt kind of brushed off by the doctors and all that kind of stuff. I did put up a Instagram post all about that, speaking about how since getting my diagnosis, which was a struggle to get, since then I've not bothered with the doctors because they've literally given me no help. So if you are interested in seeing that, it is this post here on my Instagram. But yeah, I think I'll probably do a video on that too. So thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you would like to hear about that. Can you have PCOS and still have regular monthly periods? Yes, you can. Some people with PCOS have a completely normal regular cycle, whereas others, like me, you don't have such a regular cycle. So before I got mine under control, I was literally having one period a year. So like I would go 9 months, have a period, then I'll go another 6 months, have a period, then I'll go 10 months and have a period. But in answer to your question, yes, you can have PCOS and still have regular periods. Do you take any, or can you recommend any supplements that are good for PCOS? I use vitamin D and zinc. This is from Holland & Barrett, this is from Boots. The reason why I take vitamin D, according to my Googles, vitamin D is a hormone that is vital to your endocrine system. Vitamin D deficiency is common in women with PCOS. Vitamin D may improve irregular periods and help you ovulate. So I take those. I also take zinc, and zinc says zinc is a trace element that can boost fertility and your immune system. Excessive or unwanted hair growth and alopecia may be improved with zinc supplements. So if you are somebody who suffers with hair, like excessive hair growth or hair loss on your head, then try zinc. And I think magnesium is good for that too. Something else which I have, which can come in supplement form but also can be used like in foods, is maca root. Up until now, I've been using maca root powder and mixing it in with food, usually my breakfast. I just kind of sprinkle about a tablespoon of maca root powder into my breakfast and mix it up, and you don't even notice it. But you can get maca root powder in little capsules as well, and you just take it like you would a normal supplement. I strongly believe that maca root powder helped me so much with regulating just the whole cycle and made me aware of the whole cycle and what is happening in my body. Online says the root of the maca plant is a traditional herb used to boost fertility and libido. Maca root may help balance hormones and lower cortisol levels. It may also help treat depression. Why can I not speak? It may also help treat depression, which can be a symptom of PCOS. So yeah, for me, I feel like maca root powder helped my cycle just be smoother and make me know everything that's going on. I feel like we all get spikes in our hormones throughout the cycle, but I feel like it was less like and it was more ooh, you know, with the maca root powder, so things were more bearable and less sudden. And I feel like it also helped regulate my period as well, so it was more frequent than what it was before I was taking the maca root powder. But it is always hard to know whether it's the one thing or not, because during this time I've been kind of experimenting with a few things. So I've lost weight, I do the right exercises, I eat the right foods, and I have maca root powder and the supplements. So yeah, it's hard to pinpoint one thing, but just because of everything that was going on, I really strongly feel like maca root powder helped me loads. Has your PCOS affected your hair in any way? So I've had a few of those questions asking about whether I've related to hair, so whether I've lost hair, like hair shedding, and whether I have excessive body hair. So in relation to the hair on my head, I don't know. I don't think so. And even if I have been affected by it, like, I have enough hair on my head anyway, so I don't have any complaints in that. There is one section on the side of my head here that I do think is significantly thinner than the rest of my hair, so I don't know whether that would have anything to do with the PCOS or not. So in terms of that, I don't know, but I don't think so. Like, I still have a lot of hair on my head. I don't have any problems with like balding or losing my hairline or anything like that. So for me, no. In terms of body hair, I mean, I do have body hair, but I don't know if it's necessarily excessive. But I do get body hair. I get a little moustache. I've got hair like on my arms, and I do have a little bit of a hairy belly and back, which I remove. But I don't think like I'm particularly excessively hairy. So I feel very blessed that I don't have that symptom, because I know as a woman that can be quite difficult to deal with. But I think on the hair front, for me personally, I haven't suffered with those symptoms. Does PCOS develop from the start, or can I get it much later? This is something that I have researched, but I haven't really managed to find a definitive answer to. Some places will say that you're born with PCOS, but you won't realize that you have it until puberty, when your periods come and all of those other changes that happen in your body. And even if you don't notice it at puberty, if it comes later in life, the research that I have found says that you still always had PCOS, but it's just certain changes in your life or whatever has made the symptoms show later on in life rather than earlier on in life. However, some research also says that you can develop it later in life. So I don't really know, that's kind of up in the air. I think that you're born with it. I'm more on the side of you're born with it and it can come out later on in life rather than it can actually develop later on in life. Just because to me it makes more sense, especially because PCOS is so sensitive to your diet and your lifestyle. So if you make a small change to your diet or a small change to your lifestyle, that could make the symptoms then appear in your life. So then you think that you've suddenly developed PCOS, but really it's always been there, but it's because of the changes that you've made that has made it come out, if that makes sense. So I'm leaning more towards you always, like, you're born with it, you always have it, you can't get rid of it, rather than you could be born without it and develop later on in life. Okay, so I have a lot of questions all about diet and lifestyle changes, and for me, diet and lifestyle changes are the things that have helped me the most, so I'll speak through those now. So in terms of lifestyle changes, one thing that I have done, which I think has helped me so much in getting on top of my cycle and like regulating everything and getting on top of the PCOS, is weight loss. Now, I've never been overweight. I've always been slim, but then my weight kind of does fluctuate, let's say between like 10 and a half, maybe a little bit more, 10 and a half stone and 10 stone. Like it kind of fluctuates between that. And times when I'm a few pounds lighter within that scale is when my periods are most regular. Whereas if I gain a few pounds, then my periods will kind of disappear, or they'll come like very infrequently. Even if you're not overweight, consider losing a few pounds, or try and lose a few pounds, because that could make a lot of difference. Other changes that I've made is understanding the type of exercises that I should and shouldn't do. So PCOS is basically hormone imbalances in your body, and if you do certain type of exercises, can disrupt the hormones in your body. So people with PCOS are advised to stay away from like intense cardio, because intense cardio releases hormones in your body. So if you've already got a hormone imbalance, to then have a sudden release of new hormones, that's just going to imbalance it even more. For my research, what I found out that for PCOS, the best types of exercises are weight training and HIIT workouts, but not too intense. And things like swimming and stuff like that. So swimming is still cardio, but however, it's not like super intense cardio where you're like, you know? So yeah, weight training is really all I do. Weight training, yoga, stretches and things like that. Because no matter what type of exercise you do, you are going to release those hormones. But if you're doing it in a way that's more slow and controlled, then the hormone imbalance is going to be less than if you were doing intense cardio. Okay, so changes to your diet. What is your diet plan? Diet, basically. What do I eat and what do I not eat? So this has been a journey, and I still feel like I'm on the journey to learning what's going to be perfect and best for me. But there are some things that I definitely feel like I'm confident in and know for sure. One thing is that I'm keeping my sugar levels down as much as possible. So my sugar intake is basically, I don't have any artificial sugars. So I'll have sugars from fruit and like other food that kind of naturally has sugars in it, but I don't add sugar to anything. So yeah, my sugar intake is really low, only from natural sugars. The reason for that is because people with PCOS are insulin resistant. When it comes to insulin, it's so confusing. Like PCOS is actually a really confusing illness because there's so much that goes into it. And when I hear about insulin and diabetes and all that, I literally get a headache. But I feel like the most simple way that I can put it is people with PCOS are insulin resistant. Insulin resistant, so insulin is a hormone in your body that helps your body cells break down sugars and glucose and absorbs it into your body to produce energy. People with PCOS are insulin resistant, which means that your body doesn't allow it, like your body doesn't allow insulin to do its job, so it doesn't allow insulin to break down the sugars. So then your body produces even more insulin because it feels like it needs more insulin to do the job that it's meant to be doing. And then when you produce more insulin, that means that you're more likely to gain weight, or you're going to struggle to lose weight. Your male hormones in your body are at a higher level than what they should be for a woman, which then leads on to you not to the irregular periods and not ovulating and things like that. So the reason why I keep my sugars to a minimum is because if there's less sugars in my body that the insulin has to break down, then it's going to be easier for it to do, and my body won't overcompensate and produce more insulin, which is then going to cause those other problems. Another change that I've made to my diet is that I am now dairy free. I don't consume any dairy kind of. Sometimes I cheat and have a chocolate bar here and there or some cheese. I miss cheese. Oh my god, I miss cheese so much. But on the most part, I'm dairy free. Reason being is that dairy is really bad for inflammation, and people with PCOS suffer with more inflammation around the reproductive system. So yeah, basically dairy and inflammation is just a no-go. So I've just cut that out, and I feel so much better for it. Not even just for my periods and everything, just in general. Like, inflammation happens everywhere in your body. So if you eat less things that cause inflammation, then, you know, things that are painful because of inflammation are going to be less painful and things like that. So I do feel like my periods have been less painful since cutting out dairy as well, because the pain is caused by inflammation in that region of your body. I think that pretty much covers all the questions that I got on my Instagram. There's obviously so much more that I can speak about with PCOS, and I will be doing more videos. So if there's anything in particular that you would like me to speak about, then please drop a comment below. If you have any questions, drop them below. I will respond to you, and if I get loads of the same question, then I'll just create another video talking about that question that I get. But yeah, I hope you found this helpful. Please give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment if you did find it helpful. I do already have a video on PCOS. I don't know where it will be, this side or this side. So you can check that one out as well. That's more just talking through the story of my own PCOS. And yeah, I hope you found it helpful. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.